Hey YouTube, Ash here, and welcome to my first video of Ashduck's animation reviews, where I review animated films. I'm really excited, considering I'm going to be a part of my dad's channel, Craig the Critic. Today I'm going to be reviewing none other than the recent movie, How to Train Your Dragon 2. I just want to say, before I begin, I loved the first film. I just love the relationship between the protagonist, Hiccup, and his dragon Toothless in the first one, how it just like trained dragons, yeah. It was just really beautiful. It was just a really good film. So can the second one top it off? Is the second one as good or more good? Or can it not compare to the magic awesomeness that the first one brought? Well, let's find out. So first, let's take a look at the story. Basically, main premise is now the dragons are living amongst the island of Berk. Oh wait, one thing I gotta say. The thing I look forward to the most in the movie is the time skip. When I saw like the poster in the theaters about a year ago, I was like, oh my god, it's a time skip. I love time skips in forms of media, like in TV shows or seasons or movie sequels or whatever. I just love the idea of that. So did the time skip disappoint? Not at all. No, the time skip was great. Because like the guy's longer facial hair was a 5-year time skip to be exact. Anyway, now that the dragons are living amongst Berk, they're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And one day when Hiccup, the protagonist of the movie, and last movie, he is flying on his dragon Toothless, he sees this kind of ice sort of fortress, like this really cool, like, ice sticking out, and, yeah, it's basically this, like, ruined fortress. And so basically, he and his little girly friend Ashton go out and see what was going on there. So they do, and it turns out that there was another tribe of dragon trainers, and that they wanted to do is they wanted to use dragons as slaves, and give them to this guy named Dragon Boldfist. I'll talk more about the characters a little later. So basically, what they did is they tried to take Hiccup and Ashton's dragons, but of course they won't allow that. So he goes back to Berk and tells his dad, Stoic, about this, considering he's like the leader of the island. And, so basically, yeah, they want to go and attack back, considering they've experienced this problem before. Basically, Dragon Boldfist came into, well, it's like a little flashback story. The father, Stoic, tells Hiccup that, I forget the reason why, but he told him that one long ago, Drago came into this, the main hall of Berk, and just burned it down, and Stoic was the only one that survived, so, yeah, I don't know why. And then he said, you can't reason with people crazy as that, or something like that. But Hiccup's like, I want to reason with him instead of violence. I want peace. I want to reason with him. That was good development, by the way. So they go over there, and basically they try to reason with him, but they don't really succeed. And then about a day later, when Hiccup is flying on Toothless again, he sees this mysterious figure on another dragon, with a bunch of dragons following the figure. And basically, it turns out that that figure was Hiccup's long-lost mom, and that was really cool. I mean, it was shown in the trailer, but I just thought it was really cool. Because basically, what she's doing is there was like another. She was owning another ruined fortress with like icicles everywhere, and basically she's said that she protects dragons from the tribe that wants to keep them as slaves. So yeah, basically it's like their home. And basically the reason why they both have icy fortresses is because there's like these two king or queen dragons who breathe ice out of their mouth. It's really cool. And that made the fortress for both of them. One of which is good, and one of which is evil, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So basically Hiccup further relates to his mom, and they try to stop Dragon Boldfist and his army. There's one issue I have with the story. The second biggest problem I had, it was there was a slight disregard of logic. Basically everyone thought that Hiccup's mom was dead. But she said that she didn't want violence in Berk, considering in the first movie the Vikings were killing the dragons, but just after Hiccup was born, she was like, and before, she was like, stop fighting, stop all the fighting, and of course she didn't want violence, but no one listened. So there was a dragon who was about to kill Hiccup, or something like that. They were just watching him, and then someone was like, oh god, I need to defend my son. So she takes out a sword, and he attempts to try to slay it, but it doesn't really work out. She can't slay a dragon. So just like Hiccup can. So basically, the dragon took Hiccup's mom, and then they all thought that she died. But she said that they didn't kill her. They spared her for some reason when they made it to the fortress. Because all she said about that was that I guess they thought that I belonged with them. But you really think that? This was before dragons were tamed. You think the dragons would kill them? And considering she couldn't slay or persuade a dragon in any way, you think that she'd be dead, but, you know, plot lines. So, yeah, that's basically one complaint I had. She should have been dead. Yeah. So that's pretty much the only issue I have with the story. But one thing I really did like was the relationship between Hiccup and his mother. It was just like really touching. They had a great relationship, although I will admit the mother was like a clone to Hiccup. Well, I'll discuss that in a few minutes. So yeah, that's basically the story. It was pretty good. Now let's get to the characters, the character development. I gotta say, I was worried that our lovable cast of characters would suffer from a little thing I like to call the Riders of Berk treatment. Basically, here's what Riders of Berk is. Now, Riders of Berk it was this kind of like series of cartoons that appeared in the movie. Of course, for money. But I hated Riders of Berk because it just kind of destroyed the characters, especially the dragons. Now, in the first movie, I thought the dragons acted a lot like animals. And that's why I liked. They didn't act like humans at all. They just act like animals, like dogs and cats would, protecting their owner. In Riders of Berk, it was painful to watch the dragons because they acted like actual humans. I was like, oh my god, why do they have to act like humans? And that was just, I couldn't believe that. I was bored. Another character who was destroyed in Riders of Berk was the character Astrid, Hiccup's girly friend. Basically, in the first movie, Astrid is this tough, badass girl, and basically, yeah. And inside, she has like a heart. She's pretty nice when she gets to know her, like as shown in the first movie. But in Riders of Berk, she's too soft. She looks the same, but she's not tough. She's just like soft. It just ruins her character. That's what made her really interesting. But no, Riders of Berk, I have no idea what they did to her. No. So, did she suffer the same thing in How to Train a Dragon 2? Sorta, but not really. Kind of a mix between the two. Like, in between How to Train a Dragon and Riders of Berk. She was like, in between. It didn't bother me at all. That's the thing. It didn't bother me at all. It wasn't like in Riders of Berk where it completely bothered me. It was like less so. Yeah. And now, what about the dragons? Did they act like humans? Did they fall into the trap? Yeah. Yeah, they fell into the trap. And they fell in pretty hard. But luckily, that's like the least of our problems here. What about the new characters? More specifically, the mother, the kid Aaron, one of the staff leader of Drago Bullfist, and Drago Bullfist himself. Let's start with the mother. Remember earlier when I said she was like a Hiccup clone? Yeah. I think that's the main problem with her character. We see her exactly the same as Hiccup. We see her like that, she doesn't develop properly. We like see like that they're so alike. And not that that's a bad thing, but considering she's not different from Hiccup at all, it just doesn't really give her an interesting character. But overall, she's not a bad character, and it's pretty interesting on how they brought her back. But you know, it doesn't. And seeing like the tribes expands the kind of world of How to Train a Dragon, and that's what I liked. But no, the mother, she was just too much like Hiccup for me to care about her. Now, what about the kid Aaron, the co-staff of the co-guy of Dragon Ball Fist's Dragon Army? He was good. He didn't really have an incredible amount of personality, but he was good. He did have some redeeming value. Like when he was like kind of bad at first. He was working for Dragon Ball Fist. Basically, yeah, he was bad at first, but basically one of the dragons saved him from danger. And then he's like, at first it still seems like he's a bad guy, but then he saves them in return, and now it's down on their side. Now what about Dragon Ball Fist? He was definitely one of the best DreamWorks villains I've seen yet. He was so intimidating. He was like, he's the one who wanted to keep Dragon's armies, and he actually had a backstory. Basically, when he was younger, he wasn't too tough. He didn't really stand up too much. Dragon Ball Fist is definitely one of the more intimidating DreamWorks villains yet, and that's why he's awesome. He's almost as good as Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2. What I love is that he had a really good backstory on why he wants to keep dragons as slaves. Because when he was younger, he wasn't too tough, younger than Hiccup was in the first movie, and basically a dragon bit his arm off. And that's why he has like this kind of like metal arm. It was just really cool. He after that, he was training hard, and he wanted to keep dragons as slaves to show that he is the one in charge. And considering he knows how to train dragons and tame them using fear, that was the thing. Like I said, it was really intimidating. Using fear, like screaming my lot, sort of, and that's really scared the dragons. It's weird as that may sound, but he's pretty scary. So, yeah, he was a good villain. And about Ashton again, it was in one scene where we first meet Dragon Ball Fist, where Ashton and the other characters are trapped. This is like one of my biggest complaints, like a plot line, and basically Astrid just gives away all this information on Hiccup, like saying, Hiccup is going to stop us. And he's like, who's Hiccup? He's like, he is the son of Stoic the Vast, and he's trains dragons, and he's gonna come in on his Night Fury and kill you, or something like that. But it was just like, they were just giving away all this information. Like, I was like, come on! Like, how stupid are you guys? I mean, Astrid's super bright, so why was she the one who's giving away all this information? Why would she even tell him that Hiccup's gonna come in the first place? Like, because he's gonna get prepared for it anyway. But no, instead she took it one step further, and Drago actually goes after Hiccup. Yeah, great job. Great job, you freaking dummies. So anyway, what about the other characters? Like, remember the first one? There was Rough Nut, Tough Nut, Fish Legs, and Long Snout, I think his name was. Ah. So, what about these characters? Well, they bring me to my biggest complaint with the movie. The pointless love chain / triangle. In the first movie, Long Snout, I think his name was, I'm just gonna say Long Snout. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Yeah, he had a crush on Astrid before Astrid was dating Hiccup. So basically you think like, okay, he's probably gonna be over her. And he is, but why the hell did he have a crush on Rough Nut? Like, why? And what's even worse is that Fish Legs also has a crush on her. Like, what? What's that? What point will that serve in the movie? It doesn't do anything. It's pointless. It's unnecessary. I don't see why they would do that. Why would you need a love triangle? Like, we already had like a bit of a love triangle in the first movie. So why another? But after that, when Roughnut sees Aaron, she falls for him. And let me tell you, there was some funny gags, like just like kind of crossing her eyes. It was funny, like on how she reacted to him, how she kind of like staring at his muscle and stuff like that. That was funny. I guess I kind of understand that, but why would you need long snout and fish legs to have a crush on Roughnut? I mean, they didn't have a crush on that her before. That was just unnecessary, pointless, and I don't even know why. It's illogical, sort of. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the characters. I think. Are there any more characters? No, I think that's about it. Now that brings me to my final topic: the animation. The animation in this film was amazing. In the first movie, the animation was great, but here they made it even better. I think they've outdone themselves. DreamWorks, it's the best DreamWorks animation I have ever seen. Ever. And the fight scenes, the action scenes, you gotta admit, whether you've seen it or not, the action scenes were probably one of the most entertaining parts of the movie. I friggin' loved the action scenes, like all the explosions, all that crap. Another cool thing was Toothless's cool form, where he like lights up blue, like his nostrils kind of glow blue. His mouth is kind of blue. All of his scales are like blue. It's just like really cool how it like shines. I don't really know how that happened, but here's the thing. I just know that's going to be an action figure in Toys R Us. That's going to end up in a store in Toys R Us. There's going to be a button on Toothless, and it's going to make it roar and shine blue. That was obvious. As soon as I saw that, I knew that was going to be in a toy line. So animation, it was great. The dragon designs were really good too. In the first film, we had like 7 or 8, maybe 9 dragons introduced. In this one, they introduced like 25 more dragons. And that's one thing I loved. That's one thing I loved about the films, were all the different kinds of dragons. When I was younger, actually, I made paper versions of all those dragons, like life-size paper versions. I made a paper version of, I don't think I made a paper version of the Night Fury, but I made a paper version of the Zippleback. I made a paper version of the, what's it called? A Natter. I made of the Natter. And I made one of the Terror, I think it's what's called. Yeah. I made like a bunch of these cardboard cutouts. Not cardboard, paper cutouts. Like, I would tape all the paper together, cut it out in the shape, and draw. Yeah, and it was wasteful. I think I threw it away. But yeah. So they introduced so many new dragons. They all had great designs. And it was just great. I thought that was really cool. Now, what about the human designs? They were great too. They were really good. Like I say, the time skip, making them look really a lot older, like 5 years older. Definitely, all the guys got facial hair. Ashton actually looks younger than she did in the first movie. Actually, just except she's a little taller. I don't know. She just looks so soft. I don't think she's wearing any eyeliner. But in the first one, she's wearing heavy eyeliner. And yeah, but I liked her design better in the first one than in this one. So yeah, the animation was superb. Definitely the best animation in DreamWorks and the best animation of the year, definitely. So those are pretty much all my thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon 2. I definitely recommend it for people who have seen the film before. But for people, and liked it, but for people who have not seen the movie before or have seen it but didn't like it, I'm not going to stop you if you want to see it, but you may not enjoy it as much as others will. Overall, How to Train Your Dragon 2 was a good film. Not as good as the original though, but I did think it was really cool. I give How to Train Your Dragon 2 3.5 stars out of 5. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys, and I'm really happy to now be a part of Craig the Critic's channel. Or hopefully he's going to get off his butt and do some videos of his own, like he said. He said he wants to get back into videos, so I really hope that'll happen. I hope we can team up in doing some videos too, just like in our review of Tales from Earthsea, except I had no idea what I was doing then. So this time, now that as you can tell I've had some experience with reviews, I think I'll be a lot less of an annoying. So, yeah, hopefully next time in my animation reviews, I'll be able to review the Lego Movie. Yeah, because that was a really good film. I really wanted to review it, and I just really hope that I can review it later. I'm going to try to get an animation film review at least once a week. But until then, I'm Ashduck, and I will see you in my Lego Movie review. And yeah, I will see you then. And I hope you guys rate, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And till then, I will see you next trip. Nate.